Welcome to the Thechichatshow, ladies and gentlemen. We have the pleasure today to sit down with Angel Tolani. She is an outstanding music artist, a formidable DJ, and I'm blessed to be alive on the planet at the same time as she is. Her music is available on all streaming platforms. We have Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, and of course, SoundCloud, right? So we'll put all of our links in the description. So by all means, check it out. Thanks for coming, Angel.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. How's life going for you these days?
Busy, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of music related things and a lot of entertainment related things. So I would say busy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And are you happy so far?
I am. That's a really tough question to answer, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, because I think we go about our life these days without really thinking if we're happy or not, right?
right. That's very
Yeah.
true.
So I'm asking, and that's why I'm asking if you
And
thought about it.
I would say I have happy moments
Okay.
because I feel like happiness is like an all encompassing thing, and sometimes I feel like you can have moments where you're happy,
Yeah.
and those moments are like when you're happy. It has to for me it includes the place you live in. For me it includes where you are in your life. For me it includes what you're doing with yourself. For me it includes what are you happy about your job? Are you happy every morning when you go to work? Are you happy every day when you come home? Are you happy with the hobbies that you have? Are you happy with the people you spend time with? And I find that as human beings, we're not usually happy with some of those things,
Yeah.
but we still fake it
Yeah.
because we hope that if we fake it enough, then we will be happy.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's why it's a tough question because I do have a lot of happy moments,
Yeah.
but I would say I am happy maybe, but I'm not happy all the time. I'm a no because I'm a human being, and I
Yeah.
would obviously like some other parts of my life to come together in
Yeah.
order for me to know that I am truly happy.
Yeah.
So I would say I experience happy moments.
Okay. That was quite an answer.
Yeah, I
All
know.
right. And one thing we don't usually talk about a lot is mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted to ask, how's your mental health?
it's it's going, it's moving.
Okay.
I actually am in the middle of being diagnosed with either borderline disorder or
Yeah.
ADHD.
Yeah.
So my mental health is always, I think, in a flux. It's changing. I
Yeah.
have a lot of ups and downs,
Yeah.
and I just try to navigate through my ups and downs as best as I can.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. And this borderline or ADHD personality, when did you first discover it?
I mean, ADHD I was diagnosed with when I was in Nigeria.
Okay.
When I was younger, and that made sense. I could never sit still. I could never focus. I couldn't do anything like all my peers were doing. I was like, but I could do things that they couldn't do,
Okay.
but they couldn't do things that like. I don't know how to explain. They couldn't. I could do things that they couldn't do, but I could try to do the things that they could do if
Yeah.
I just put myself into that situation.
Yeah.
But they couldn't, or just try to focus. But they couldn't do the same as
Okay.
I did. So I guess ADHD. That's kind of when I knew that okay, something's wrong when I was growing up, and then I got diagnosed, and then
Mhm.
I recently went to the psychiatrist about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, not that long actually,
Yeah.
and then they said you might have ADHD or borderline like as an adult because I think the symptoms change when you grow older.
Yeah.
So you're like, am I just failing at life or
Yeah.
is it my brain? No, it's my
Oh,
brain.
okay.
So
Yeah, because for me, I'm someone who doesn't really understand the concept of borderline personality. That's why I'm asking, if for a viewer was watching, what is basically borderline personality? What does that mean?
Well, I'm also still trying to understand it, so please don't quote me. I'm still trying to understand myself, and
Yeah.
but it's I think it has to do with a lot of like it comes from people who have suffered from a lot of like traumas in their childhood, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's genetic as well. But for
Yeah.
me, I would not say it's particularly genetic. I think childhood trauma, feelings of having a lot of abandonment issues as a kid
Okay.
and as a child, and then also it can also stem from the kind of environment that you grew up in. If it's like tumultuous, it can affect you. If it's constantly like chaotic,
Yeah.
like as a child you need the most stable environment that you can find, which
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
important. We don't talk about it enough
Exactly.
because it's like nature or nurture. You can have it naturally,
Yeah.
or you can be in an environment that brings it out of you. So like being super impulsive, um, not being able to like keep relationships,
Mhm.
like friendships,
Yeah.
even things like things as simple as not being able to text people back for like 2 to 3 days, even though you know you can, and then having mood swings, getting easily like affected by little things that should not
Yeah.
affect you. Like, for example, maybe your boyfriend doesn't call you for 6 hours or something, and now you're so enraged, but you
Yeah.
don't know why. If it's
Okay.
little things like that, and not being able to keep a job, not being able to keep friends, not feeling the, sometimes you don't have the motivation to do things,
Yeah.
but then you're so impulsive that you keep doing the wrong things and making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
So borderline is actually, it can be very debilitating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow. Because this is something that I've been hearing a lot of people talk about, and to hear you break it down like this, it really shines a light to what it really means, you know. And I didn't really know it's so severe.
It
You
is
know,
so
for me,
severe.
who was actually a normal person, you know, I might think the mental health issue of a borderline person is like I might underestimate it without really knowing what they're going through,
Yeah.
right? Meanwhile, it's actually a severe thing.
It's very severe. I
Yeah.
think borderline people suffer a lot from like they have a high risks of like suicide, which people don't talk about because of that
Okay.
impulsive thought.
Yeah.
Because you things are bad and you just impulsively want to do something bad. But
Mm.
you might be good when you wake up tomorrow,
Yeah.
but you have to just get to that to tomorrow
Yeah.
and get past it, which some people it's sometimes like a hard wall.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course, of course. Call me for therapy.
Yeah. So the next thing is before we begin, I was going through your social media and realized you are into fashion as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you do as full time, or is it just part time, or
I think I would not say full time or part time. I would just say it's a part of me.
okay?
I love style. I've always loved style ever since when I was a kid. I shopped for all my own clothes when I was a child. My mother bought me something I didn't like, I would make her return it. And I
Yeah.
was 6.
Yeah.
So I've always had a very strong connection to style because I feel like it represents me.
Yeah.
It's my own way of saying this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my personality. And it's the easiest way to express yourself without saying anything.
I see.
So it's very important to me. So I would say fashion is a part of me. It
Yeah.
would not, I wish it was a job.
Yeah. But you've been doing like some fashion shows already?
No, I just like to go to Fashion Week.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
fun. It's
Yeah.
great. I pick up a lot of inspiration from Fashion Week
Yeah.
because I'm an artist, and part of music is visuals as well. And I feel like people forget that a lot. But you love the
Mm.
artists you
Yeah,
love because their
definitely.
visual is as banging as their music.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's why I love to go to Fashion Week because then I can pick up stuff that I can actually learn and use.
Yeah. I think sometimes when we watch music, we psychologically ignore the fact that we are attracted to the visual.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of us, without you can just do like this comparison, right? An audio music and a video music, right? If you look at the numbers, you're always going to see that the audio doesn't really do as well as the video.
No.
Yeah, especially when the video is even hotter, you know, and there are a lot
And
of
better.
yeah, and better,
Yeah.
you know, because like you just said, most of the artists going to the fashion shows, getting all of these inspirations like the Chris Brown, Young Thug, and all of that. You know, it actually brings another kind of audience into their show.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And also when you see them, they have a sense of style. They know what they're doing. They know, I'm not saying like Chris Brown's the best person, for use the example. He has style.
Yeah.
You know, and that style he's picked up from being around people, and he's found like the right people for him,
Yeah.
and he's sort of found what fits him, and we all like it, and we all resonate with him. He might not
Exactly.
be a great person,
Yeah.
but the aspect of style is so important. Even in his early videos, you know, you always had an image of Chris Brown in your head, you
True,
know, with the
true.
baggy jeans
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know the
And
bad
big
boy vibe, the
t-shirt.
big
Yeah,
t-shirt,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like you remember
And the
it,
brown
you know,
haircut.
and the
Yeah,
brown
yeah, exactly. That was
the
typical
Jerry
Chris Brown.
curl. He was
Yeah, yeah.
he was back in the day. He was fire. Yeah, so it's so important.
It's dope. It's dope. It's dope. But keep it up, though. Keep it up with the
Thank
fashion. You
you.
know,
Thank
it's gonna
you.
help out with your music as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important.
So, the next thing you recently released a a single called Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a short a cappella of the music for the viewers.
Everybody gotta come carry money. Eat it plenty, no be so we dey ready. Say na witchcraft every time we dey live life.
Oh, that's enough. That's
There you
enough.
go.
Guys, that's too much.
There we go.
If you want more, look at the music on YouTube. All right. It's
Yes.
available on YouTube. It's available on Spotify, SoundCloud. Get the music.
Get
all
the
right.
song.
You heard the voice.
Buy
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Buy it.
A bitch is broke. Buy it.
Support her. Support her. It's very important. But I really like the voice is good.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank
It's
you.
great. Thank you so much. So the thing is, for us who do not understand the Nigerian language or pidgin, right? What does Shere actually means?
Okay, so Shira means let's play. And it can also like in Lagos it can have different meanings. Like it just mean let's play.
Okay.
It can also mean like let's get down, you
Yeah,
know, like let's get to know each other a bit better, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore because I haven't been to Lagos in a long time. So Nigerians,
Oh.
don't judge me, please. I don't I don't know if that's still the meaning, but it means like let's play, let's have fun. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
it's very simple.
And how did you come about the idea of this beautiful piece?
I went to the studio and I knew that I wanted to make a really slapping Afrobeat song that was a club banger.
Yeah.
That was my mood that day.
Okay.
And so my producer and I, he's fantastic. He's a great producer. His name is like Daniel Michael Victor, and he produces for some of the biggest K-pop bands in the world. So
Okay.
working with him is a very smooth, very like straightforward process. So we get to the studio. I'm like, this is what is in my mind. He's like, okay, let's pick some sound. So we together pick the instruments for the song, and we add parts that we think are cool. We take out parts that we think are not cool. And then while he was doing that, I wrote the song in like 30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I could hear the song in the instrumental already. I could hear the lyrics.
Yeah.
So I already knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So by the time we were done making the instrumental, the lyrics were also done. So it took us like 3 to 4 hours, and then we were done with it.
That's it. That's it. You know, this same thing you're saying is something I've heard from most popular artists. You know, like whenever you need to have a hit, you know, it's not gonna take the longest time ever.
No.
You know, there's some very, very popular music that is like made in like 15 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, like
Exactly.
when it clicks, it clicks.
It clicks. And
Yeah.
like we always do this thing where we're like, if you think of like an instrument, or if you think of a sound in your head, or if you hear something that you think is good, just take that first thing, because we tend to do this thing as humans where like, is there something better? Is there something better? Can I find a better sound? But we're like, if it hits, we don't need to find anything better. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that also helps in our process, because we're just like picking from the universe, I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's life, you know.
It is.
Because like you were saying, complicating things most of the times it's like I don't know. Sometimes it works too, you know, being meticulous and trying to be perfect. You know, it works, but
I mean, I would say that like with music,
Yeah.
sometimes it won't come. The universe will give you nothing. Then
Yeah.
you have to be meticulous. Then your skill actually matters. Then you have to know how to write a song, because it might not just always come. But
Yeah.
that's why sometimes you hear a song in an album and you're like, this sounds like somebody just, you know, really took their time to write it. And then you hear a song that's like, this probably just was a banger that just came out of nowhere. And
that's
it's
gonna
because
be probably like the Kendrick, right?
exactly
Yeah.
Kendrick,
I
exactly.
mean, I don't know how long Kendrick Lamar spends to the amount of time he uses to write his songs, but you know, it's well thought of.
You know, it like To Pimp a Butterfly, that album, you
Yeah.
can just tell that every single song in that album was like well thought out. Like
Exactly.
he sat down and wrote poetry. You know,
Yeah,
it was like it was like lyrical poetry. It was
Sure.
so good.
Sure.
My favorite Kendrick
Insane,
album.
insane. By the way, before we even continue, what's your favorite artist?
It changes.
Mm.
I don't think I'm a person who has a favorite artist.
Okay.
Like right now, my favorite artist is Chappelle Roan.
Mm.
And that's just because like Chappelle Roan's voice and her pen game is immaculate. Like she's immaculate. Sorry, she's such a great artist. It's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She had a song that came out this year. It almost has 1 billion streams,
Wow.
and it's like half of it is me. So
Oh my goodness. Awesome, awesome. You're also part of a group called the Omondo Collective, right?
Amando, yeah.
Tell us what that is. What is Omondo Collective?
Amondo Collective is an amazing collective with a bunch of expats who are Black from around Copenhagen and in Stockholm.
Yeah.
So it's me, Javan Jami, Elijah Okello, and Soleil Kamara. Soleil is an Afro house artist. He lives in Stockholm. Really amazing producer, really amazing artist. Elijah is a hip hop artist, and he also produces music, and
Yeah.
he is such a fantastic performer, like goosebumps when he's performing, you know? Javon is an amazing producer,
Yeah.
an amazing friend. I love you, girl. and just like an a fantastic DJ.
Yeah.
So that's Amondo Collective.
I see. And
Yeah.
how did it all start? How did you guys come together? Because I think it's not so easy to work together, right? You guys are four of you, you just
It's
said,
four
right?
of us, yeah.
Yeah. And I think working together, coming together, and actually finding something, the middle line that works for everybody is not easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helps that we're all Black.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, because I call anybody out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it also, like, I think it helped that I lived with Javon
Yeah.
for a while
Okay.
before I joined the collective. This collective has been going on way before I joined it.
Oh.
I knew the past members, you know. So this and I was making heavy metal back then, so I couldn't be a part of the collective.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a rock singer for like a couple of years.
Okay.
And we could not mesh together because the collective is mostly R&B and Afro and hip hop.
Yeah.
So last year when I made the switch and I left my rock label and decided that I wanted to do my own thing, then I decided it would make sense to join the collective, and there was space, so why not?
And just before we go on, how did the your rock career go?
Fantastic.
Was it great?
It was great. I think it was my most successful career, like my most successful side quest till date, because I do a lot of side quests.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did an album that had with a band that had over 4 million streams. Our main song had over like 1 million streams.
Yeah.
I got to tour Denmark multiple times. I played in Odense, Aarhus, Aalborg, everywhere. And then I got to play in Tokyo. So I cannot complain.
That's great. That's great. So you switching from the rock to the to what you're doing now to the Afrobeats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that like financially, is that good for you, or
I've made
you
more
don't
money
mind?
doing Afro than
Okay, you make
rock.
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So financially, yeah, everybody don't do rock music, man. Not in Denmark. It's not when you're Black. Also, it's too many balls to juggle. People have to get used to seeing you, first of all, as a Black person singing rock music, then as a Black woman, which is like, because Black men are in the rock space. I see them on TV all the time. But Black women, it's not that many of us.
Yeah.
And then being in a country like Denmark, which is so small, and then having to play the stage with everybody who is like, no offense, but white. I would love to have an all Black band, you know, just for like to show like an actual difference.
Yeah.
But for me, it still felt like too many balls in the air with like racism and rock music and, you know, the scene. It was just, I just wanted to take a step back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Wow. Okay. How old are you, anyways? We didn't get to that.
I'm 20 something. No, I'm going to be honest. I'm 27, but someone told me that I'm already too old to be in the music industry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why.
So what age is it for people to get in?
20, 19.
20?
Yeah, Rema, Ira Star. Look at them. They're all very young. Tiwa Savage, I think she started a bit older, and Thames is 29. So there is that part of it. But honestly, it's a very like snatch 'em young kind of game. You have to get them when they're early, because that's when you can build a fan base throughout like their early 20s.
Okay.
Because that's by the time you're turning 30, girl, I don't think anybody really wants to see you anymore except your Lady Gaga. It's sad. Don't quote me.
You know, the reason why I don't really worry about age is because I feel like the older you get, the wiser you become, and the more experience you have. You know, it doesn't matter what which industry you find yourself in.
As a man, yeah. As a woman, it matters.
Okay.
Like age is such a big thing for us as women. I just saw this film the other day called The Substance.
Yeah.
I would 100% recommend it because it covers like the body dysmorphia that women feel when they grow older. Because I'm 27 and I feel it. I have friends who are in their 20s getting Botox. I have friends who are in their 20s like doing things that I know that I would have been like, maybe wait a few years, girl, because you don't know how your face is going to turn out. Like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
face changes as you grow.
Yeah.
But there's so much pressure on us women to look young because let's face it, next year, new girls are going to turn 18.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like every year
Yeah.
a new generation of girls are going to turn 18 and you're just going to keep our industry doesn't make it possible for women to like grow older and still succeed. You fade out of like what's it called importance. That's why Madonna looks the way Madonna does. We
Yeah.
all love Madonna and Madonna should never have to get plastic surgery for any reason.
Yeah.
But why does she do it? Because of the industry. Even when you're Madonna, once you get to 50, 60, people don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
So we are also fighting that on top of every other thing
I
that we're
see.
fighting.
I see. So you feel like the Botox should it be like taken out, or is it something that you feel like is good for the women?
I'm like, do what you want to do. Honestly, don't let anybody tell you what to do or what to not do. If you want to get Botox at 17, 18, 19, 20, I'm not going to say do it, but I'm not going to stop you either ways. I think everyone should make their own decisions. It's life. You learn from it, right?
Yeah.
It builds character if your face falls in a different direction
true.
10 years later. But I would say just like wait till you're 25. See where the wrinkles start to show up at. At
Yeah.
least give yourself a chance to start to get old.
Yeah.
Because when I was 20, I thought that I knew everything in the world and I thought I was like this and that. And now I'm 27. I don't know anything,
Yeah.
you know? And if someone had given me the chance to do Botox when I was 20, I would have. That's what's crazy. But
Oh,
now going back, I'm going to be
okay.
like, hell no. My face hasn't even wrinkled up a little bit yet. I'm fine.
You know, they actually say life kind of starts at 30, and most people actually get to their prime at maybe about 33.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
That's
agree
what
with them
yeah.
because I was watching, thinking of all my favorite sitcoms, like Friends. They were all 29, first season. New Girl, 29, first season.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, late 20s, first season. Their lives started
Yeah.
in their late 20s.
Exactly.
So,
Because most of us we kind of used to this social media kind of pressure, right? And we think we're just seeing just the success. Everyone thinks
exactly.
you got to make it right away when you're 20s, and you got to make it right away when you're 18, 19 or something. But if you're not someone, most of the people who I even think made it by the age of 19, these are people who actually started at the age of 5, but you didn't see the work they put in. For example, when you take most professional footballers, they actually start at the age of 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And most people like who's this popular actor, Brad Pitt, or
Yeah.
that's someone,
Leonardo? I think.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
Those
'cause
are people that have been in the movie space since they were like,
they were younger.
yeah. And people actually see them like, okay, they got famous at this time, and they think like, okay, it's got to be like that. No.
Yeah, but it's also deeper than that because even when you start at 5,
Yeah.
if you don't have a parent or if you don't have a guardian or anybody who is either in the movie industry or willing to break their backs for you to get into the movie industry, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Half the people who are famous today are nepo babies. There is a reason why more than half the industry, their mother was either a casting agency
Exactly.
here, a director there,
Yeah.
a this there, or that there. Regular people, there's like 5 of them or 6 of them tops
yeah.
who actually make it.
Yeah. So you have like the environment that's nurturing you to.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
networking is, see, let me look into the camera as I say this. Networking is life. If somebody had not told me that,
Yeah.
like, you need to network
Yeah.
because that is so important. There's people who are not talented who are famous. Why?
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah.
So it's like you can start at 5 and not know anybody and your career just tanks. You know, I've been working in the film industry since I was 6, 5. I've been doing commercials and
I
billboards
saw
and all
some of
this
your
stuff.
videos.
Yeah, so I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
If I stayed in Nigeria, maybe I would be in a different space in my career right now.
Mhm.
But here in Denmark, I had to start over,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
and build all the networks again. And it's taking me 8 years to even get close to where I was before I moved here.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
But anyways, where are you from for those who do not know?
Oh, I'm a
Your
Lagos girl.
African roots?
I'm from Nigeria.
Lagos, yeah.
Born in Lagos.
Lagos, Lagos.
Eko ni Baje. That's what we say.
All right. And when did you move to Denmark?
2016 October.
Okay.
Yeah,
2016. So it's like how many years is that? 8 years?
8 years.
Oh, okay. And did you live anywhere else in any other European countries before coming?
Yeah, I lived in Luxembourg when I was a teenager for a bit. I worked down there for a couple months in the summer.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Awesome. How's Luxembourg? It's a French place though.
It's a French place, but they also speak like French, Luxembourgish, Spanish, German. It was very confusing.
Very intercultural too.
Very
right?
intercultural. I partied a lot. That was my first city that I partied in.
Mm.
First cigarette I ever smoked. I'm sorry, mom. Don't leave your kid unchaperoned in Europe.
Yeah.
It's a great city, very small.
Exactly. And what made you choose Copenhagen out of all the places you could visit
I didn't
that
choose
you could
it.
stay at?
I did not
You
choose
didn't choose it?
I did not choose this.
So how come you found yourself here?
Oh, I remember this very carefully. I just started university and I just studied music. And I came here on actually went to Luxembourg on vacation, and my dad made me come here and apply for a residency. But in my brain, I didn't know what that meant. Like my brain had not fully thought, okay, if I get a residency, that means I have to move to Europe. For me, it was just like, oh, it's just another just another visit to immigration.
Yeah.
And then I get back home to Nigeria. I start uni in my favorite university ever, my dream university, University of Lagos. And 3 weeks in, my dad calls me and he's like, yeah, so your residency actually came out faster than we thought, and you have to move to Denmark. And I was like, no, I don't want to move to Denmark. That sounds like a big life decision that I'm not ready for. But my dad and my sister actually bullied me into going to that visa office and getting it. And I guess for my mom, it was like, Nigeria is hard. It would be easier if you went somewhere where things didn't have to be so hard for you. But I didn't see it that way. And if I could go back, I would not move. But
I see.
I'm sorry, Denmark.
So you feel like Luxembourg is 10 times better than Denmark?
No, I just like Lagos. I just wish I had stayed in Lagos when I was in Lagos. It was the perfect timing. Before I moved here.
Okay.
Because when I was in Lagos, the people who were famous now, I knew the crowds they're running. Rema, Iris, they weren't that famous then. No one knew who they were.
Yeah.
But we were all running in the same crowd. So you know how you've built up to something and then it just falls and then you have to start over in a different country with a different language.
It's heartbreaking. This is the same thing I was talking with for those of you guys who don't know Wolfgang, please check out this
Shout
episode.
out Wolfgang.
Yeah, right. He's the one who linked us up. So and Wolfgang was actually sharing this same thing, when he was over in the States and he was able to like go faster and be able to build something. He had a lot of connections back in the States, but then when he moved to Denmark, he didn't really know a lot, and here it was kind of slow for him. So this same thing you're sharing, I could actually relate.
Yeah. It's don't move here.
No, guys, if you have no, don't say that. That's not good. That's not good for those who actually have a tangible reason to be here and they like the culture here and they probably want to explore more. I think this is a great place. It makes no
sense if you're not from the EU. Do you know that? Because it takes you 10 years to get a passport. Why would you come here?
Well, 10 years.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You could get 5 years in Sweden. Why not just go there?
Okay, that's one advantage. That's one advantage. But in terms of the language, though,
Swedish is easier to learn.
No.
Yes.
But you could speak English. Why do you need to learn another language if you can speak English?
Yeah, because it's part of the requirement here in Denmark to get your permanent residency.
Yeah, but what if you have a job, you have a house, and you don't need the language?
You still need the language if you want a passport or a permanent residency. It's like required. Because I'm about to apply for my permanent residency. Yeah. And if I did not pass the first 3 Danish classes, it was not happening for me. It took me 5 years.
Yeah.
And I had to, and the thing is, it's so specific. You have to work 3 years and 6 months, right? But if you lose your job, even though you've worked those 3 years and 6 months for a period of more than 6 months, then you have to start over.
Mm-hmm.
3 years and 6 months. Like, what do you mean? So you can't suffer? Life can be hard.
I just think if you've been to other places, you've actually tried this process, because I know a lot of people that have been through this process, right? It's the same everywhere in Europe. Germany is probably the same, because my mom too. My mom, she had to go through they call it the Einbürgerungstest, in German, and it's like it's also very hard for people who do not understand German. So it's kind of the same. Even in Denmark, you feel like it's tough because you're doing it here.
No,
But if you go to Germany too, you'll probably be like, "Oh, I don't want to go there. I'm
but
coming
I
back."
wouldn't go to Germany. That's the
Yeah.
difference. I don't feel like Germany is my vibes.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
a bit too like stoic for me in that sense. I would go to Sweden because it makes sense. Sweden has more people of color. Sweden has more culture for me. Sweden, it takes you 5 years whether you know Swedish or not.
Yeah.
So that means there's people who move to Sweden as the same time as me who have their passport now. Do you know how crazy that is? Meanwhile, I'm still in limbo. Do I go home? Do I stay here? Nigerian passport sucks. So what's the whole point of going home? Okay, I do need to get the Danish passport. Okay, it's gonna take me another. You can't really have life plans. You can't have dreams.
Yeah.
People don't think about that. I
Yeah.
don't have any dreams because they can't really be met I don't have a lot of dreams like I used to as a kid because I know the reality of life now. Like I can't dream of going to America for 2 years. How am I going to do that with what Danish? How is that going to work with the Danish residency and all of that, So it takes away a lot from you as much as it gives. You have to be ready.
So can't you, like, if you were about to go to America for 2 years, can't you do that on a working visa?
Yeah, but what happens when that working visa is over?
Yeah, you come back and renew it.
Yeah, but I can't come back to Denmark because if you leave Denmark with a temporary residence for more than 3 months, it's gone.
Okay.
And
Wow.
permanent residency is 6 months. So you still can't, even if I get a permanent residency, until I have a Danish passport in my hand, my dreams are highly limited.
Wow. That's a lot of information you're sharing for people who don't understand the Danish system.
The
right?
Danish system. Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. That's why. I've cried in my bathroom.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right. As I can see you're in a relationship, right? That's your boyfriend sitting over there.
Don't look me in the eye.
How long have you guys been together?
18 months.
Okay.
I would say we've known each other for 18 months, but I think we've been together like 17 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I don't want to imagine not knowing the answer.
I see. And how did you meet?
Hinge.
Hinge. Okay.
Hinge,
the dating app.
website.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Hinge.
I see.
my
That's
favorite
cool. That's
website.
cool. Is it better to be in a relationship or single? What do you think?
I think it depends on where you are in your life.
Mm.
If you're in a relationship with somebody that's bad for you and you also have things in your life that are not as you want them, or you're not even going as you want them, and you're ending up becoming more of a liability to a person than
Yeah.
actually helping them with their growth and evolution, then you should be single because you should be working on your growth and evolution.
Yeah.
Whereas being single is always good. I don't know. Maybe I think it's always good to be able to find yourself and
Yeah.
understand yourself and
Yeah.
know where you are and be able to take care of yourself. Some people don't ever need to be in relationships.
Mm.
Stay by yourself, uncle.
Yeah, I see. But anyways, that's the trend these days, right? Most people want to be by themselves, right?
Yeah, I'm so happy with it because so many less people are getting traumatized. So many less people are jumping into relationships that are bad for them because they can actually be single now. It's not a bad thing. It's not taboo to not have a partner.
That's the trend even. They're pushing people to be single.
Oh, I
and to
push
find the least reason why your partner sucks. Why he's not enough or competent enough.
But if that
Yeah.
least reason is good enough for you,
Yeah.
then leave.
Mm,
It's that simple. If something that small is bothering you,
yeah.
then go. No one is holding you down. You were not born tied to anybody. It's like Nigeria. They say they did not tie your destiny together.
Yeah.
You can separate from the person. Like you were not born together. You won't die together.
Yeah.
Move on. There's 8 billion people on the planet.
I see. So you don't have any kids together, do you?
No. Ugh.
Are you planning to have any?
No. No,
No time soon.
we're actually having this conversation on the way here because I have told people multiple times, I will have children, but I will never be pregnant. I don't know how that's going to work. So if you know, if I know any friends,
That's gonna be a miracle, guys.
if you have a friend who's looking to carry a free baby, because I can't even
only
pay.
probably through surrogacy, right?
Yeah, but it's not allowed in Denmark.
No.
No.
Oh, I never knew it.
Yeah, I do because
But that's not logical. How is sperm donation legal, but surrogacy isn't legal?
because women's bodies will always be policed till the end of time, and men can literally do whatever they want. They can impregnate. Look at what's his name. That impregnated half the world.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was
yeah.
his name?
I saw the documentary too on Netflix. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
The guy
Like,
has more than 1,000 kids. I
more than
think.
1,000 kids,
Yeah,
exactly.
all over the world.
All
yeah.
over the world. Yeah, that was the sperm donor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. And then if we even go back in time, where half of the world is related because of this Genghis Khan.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. The warrior,
Yeah, that's
Genghis
what I'm
Khan.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Genghis Khan was out here banging everything that moved.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
God forbid somebody wants to carry your baby.
Yeah, but I kind of think most rulers, like King Solomon and King David and all of those people, it's always like rulers, men have a thing for polygamy, right?
The women also have a theme for polygamy, so let's not erase that as well. Everybody has a theme for polygamy.
Come on. But according to the way tradition goes,
No, but
men have a thing for polygamy. Women have to be, reserved. One
which
man.
is nonsense because in the Bible, the men, every time a woman had some sort of sexual liberation or some sort of like, like the Queen of Sheba, for example, she had a lot of money. She wanted to do whatever she wanted. She was essentially the bad bitch of the Bible, but they said that she was Jezebel. She's a bad person.
Yeah, yeah.
Why? The guys have the same autonomy.
Yeah.
Why can't the women have the same autonomy?
Well, you should ask those who created the earth, right?
Well, I guess the earth created itself, so I gotta touch grass and ask it, what is going on?
Yeah, because if we look at it, every time a woman tries to go against the norms, try to have multiple men, she starts getting looked at as a prostitute.
It depends on where you are, and it depends on your friend group. That means the people around you suck. You need to run. I don't need these friends because I can be a polyamorous person if I want to be in a relationship, and I've also been in relationships where I've had open relationships, And for me, it's very important as a woman for you to be able to try these things and figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
If not, you're just going to be like our grandmas, stuck in a marriage that you hate with a husband you can't divorce.
Yeah. How is it like being in a polyamorous relationship?
I mean, I've only had something close to that one time.
Okay.
And I guess it depends on where you're coming from because if you come from a place where love is not transactional, it's easier. If you are a love is that means I need to give something needs to come in order when I give something, or I need to get something if I'm giving something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. It will not work. You have to be like 100% love.
Yeah.
And it has to be in a non-insecure way. It has to be in a non-limiting way. You have to be completely 100% confident in who you are as a person. If not, that's where the cracks start to fall. It actually comes from you as an individual, not trusting yourself enough, or maybe not being secure in yourself enough, or not loving yourself and the other person enough. Because if you loved yourself enough, you would know if a situation is good for you or not. If you love the other person enough, and in my way, I would say unconditionally, which a lot of people don't, because their love comes with conditions.
Yeah.
If you love somebody without any conditions, it won't matter.
Yeah. And just so the people understand, how was it in your own experience? Because in a polyamorous relationship, you're the only woman with two or more men, right? Yeah. And how do these men kind of feel about each other? Do they go along?
Well, I wouldn't say it was official, so maybe I can say I've officially been in a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm honest. I'm an honest person.
Yeah.
It's very important for me to be honest. So if I say this is how I feel, this is what I want, if you don't align, great, we move on. And if we align, great, we move on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have to be that hard, you know? It's just honesty and being open about what you want and what you don't want.
But you did let both the other men know that you're seeing both of them together then.
Of course, I've had a situation where I've been out with, I met a guy and I told him, look, I know we met each other and there's a vibe, but I'm actually going to this club to see this other guy, just like full transparency. I don't want to, yeah, like, why would I lie about that? I just met you. What, like, you know? And he was like, cool, I'll come with you. And he came with me, and the other guy was working at the club. And I remember this guy waited with me outside until that guy was done after the club closed, because they have like an hour to like clean up and stuff. And this guy waited with me until that guy came out. And then he handed me over to that guy. So if you're honest, hey, you can be me.
Man, that's quite a revelation. That's quite a revelation. For some people, the other guy who was waiting for you the whole time to get done, you know, he'll be like, most people are gonna be like, is he a simp? Is he like begging the girl? What does the girl have that he can find on another lady, you know?
Yeah, but
Like
then,
waiting the whole time for you to.
but then those people are very insecure with themselves, because why would you project that onto somebody else unless you feel that way if it was happening to you? I feel like it's a projection, you know, because what happened? I went on a date with that guy. We hung out a lot. I still know him till today. We're still friends, and we went on multiple dates. I saw him the next day.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it doesn't really matter. Like, I was honest. I said, look, I do like you. I would like to go out with you, but tonight, this is how my night is going, and if this is how you feel, and if you're down with it, cool. We can all be here together. It's all love. We don't gotta fight, you know. Like,
Cool. So how long have you been working in the music industry as a artist or DJ?
as an artist, officially, I would say since like when I started making money off of music
Yeah.
and releasing stuff,
Yeah.
since like 2016, 15. But I've been singing since I was like in the choir when I was 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So
I see.
Yeah.
And how did you get into the music business?
that's the thing, I've always been singing.
Yeah.
Like when I was 3 years old, I went as Madonna for career day. I always knew what was going to happen. It was the music business or no business, or
Yeah.
the film business, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you started so young, as you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that age, did you know it's something you want to pursue as a professional career?
Yes. Career day. I was prepped. My school said, "What are you?" I said, "Madonna, bitch."
I see. And do you have like any people in your family who are into this music as well?
My cousin. My
Okay.
cousin's a rapper. I remember that growing up because we tried to write a lot of raps together, and that's when I realized I was a bad rapper. So,
Okay.
that's it. I would say my dad. Funny enough, my mom told me that my dad was a big metalhead growing up. So she was like, that could be where it is for you, and you don't even know it. He listened to a lot of like Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones. That was like my dad's albums growing up. So
Okay.
like he could count.
I see. So we can also conclude that your environment partly shaped why you chose the career.
Yeah, also, I mean, that's true, but this is a huge one to skip over. My mom was a huge pioneer of like Afrobeat media growing up. So she had this show called Showbiz Cafe,
Yeah.
and she had people on there like Two-Face,
Yeah.
you know, like back in the day, and she
Two-Face
would be
Idibia.
Two-Face Idibia, essentially. She was the one who
Yeah.
brought all these people to the forefront and actually gave them their first airtime for a lot of people,
Okay.
you know? So I think having her really steeped into the entertainment and the music industry from a media point of view
Yeah.
was my nepotism still.
Yeah.
It was my intro, you
I
know?
see. Cool. And how close are you with your family? Your dad, mom, siblings?
I think like I'm close with my mom, close and like I'm close with her. I think she knows most of the things that happen in my life. Definitely, she was my best friend growing up. Like she's my everything. I'm really most of my siblings are half siblings or step siblings. I have no full blooded
Okay.
sibling.
Oh, You're the only one.
I'm the only one of my mom and dad. Everyone
Oh,
else is like my mom and someone else, or my dad and someone else.
yeah,
So I have a half brother I grew up with
yeah.
my mom, for my mom and someone else, and that my half brother is my life. I will throw hands for my half brother, but he's
Mm,
an MMA fighter, so now he'll probably throw hands for me.
I see, I see.
Yeah,
Cool,
so we're
cool.
super
So
cool.
they not live in Denmark, most of them.
No, I have a half brother who lives here too, but I'm not that close with him. It's from my dad's side, and all the kids my dad have grew up here.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Nigeria, so
Mm,
it's no correlation really.
yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about your confidence, right? Because I think did you get it from when you were growing up as a kid?
That's such a funny question to ask because I'm not confident all the
No?
time. I'll lie. Yes.
Yeah, because the way you carry yourself around, I think you're confident, pretty confident.
I would say I'm media trained.
Uh,
Does that make
okay,
sense?
maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the average person can kind of can kind of mix it up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they might think you're actually a confident person, but you're maybe shy behind closed doors. Yeah, but then when you come out in front of the media, the public, you have to uphold this persona and be
exactly.
confident and outgoing and be someone.
Exactly. It's
Ah,
very
okay.
important because then if people think you're confident, it's harder for them to shit on you than if they think that you're not confident. Does that
Mm,
make sense? So even the illusion
yeah,
matters.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great to learn. You need to have the two face.
Exactly.
Shy indoors, confident outdoors.
Confidence outdoors.
Yeah,
Like, don't let anybody catch you slipping.
yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so we had the part where we need to learn a bit about you as a person. How you were when you were growing up, your
Okay.
childhood, right? Your teenage years. How you are as an adult as well. How was? Let's just start with your childhood. Besides the music, how were you as a child?
I was a very goofy child. I think I'm still a very goofy adult.
Yeah,
So I was a very goofy child, very curious, very like sure of the things I wanted
yeah.
and sure of the things I didn't want. I think that's something I remember because I remember once my mom bought me this ugly dress and I made her return it. I was 7. I was like, nah, not in this house, not on my body.
Yeah.
So I remember it because I was very stubborn,
Mhm.
very assertive about the things that I wanted and the things I didn't want, but also very scared,
Mm,
I would say. I was very scared of a lot of things because I grew up in kind of an unsafe environment.
yeah.
And I grew up in an environment where, like, I would hear the neighbors getting robbed across the street, and we would all have to duck down and turn off all the lights so that stray bullets don't go into our apartment.
Yeah.
Also, so they don't know that we're home, so they don't decide to take a U-turn.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very unsafe place. Like, I grew up in the ghetto, not like Norbro,
Yeah.
when they call it the ghetto.
Yeah.
Like, my school behind me was like the public school, and public school in Nigeria, if you know that, like, it is where all the like really rough kids go to.
Mhm.
And I wasn't necessarily a rough kid. I just lived in a rough neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I was scared of my mind all the fucking time. I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die here.
Wow.
They're gonna rob the house next week or the house across next week, and they're gonna come to our house.
Yeah.
But thankfully that never happened. But I saw a lot of stuff that scared me.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's tough.
I usually as a kid too, we usually had some robberies around, but it was not really close to us, because yeah.
No, when you hear an AK-47 at 6
Yeah.
go off, it changes you as a person.
Wow.
I would say it definitely changed me as a person. Then I realized that I was very quick to realize that life was not all like lilies and fountains and meadows. Because that's when I started watching like a lot of true crime. I'm really into true crime. I started at like 6
Mhm.
because stuff was going on around me that was so crazy that I
Mm.
needed to know that there's some sort of formula
Yeah.
structure to this.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
can't just be madness everywhere,
Yeah.
So that was me
I
as a
see.
kid.
So that's what like kind of motivated you into getting into this true crime you were doing?
Yeah. I
Okay.
would like when I could not sleep when I was like 7 or 8.
Mhm.
I would wake up and I remembered the first time I found out about Jeffrey Dahmer. People are
Mm.
just finding out this year. I was 8 and
Wow.
I was watching Crime and Investigation and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's bad, but it's not this bad. Like no one is trying to like put me in a drum after murdering me or anything. But at the same time, I was like, it could, what if this is happening around me? And because I live in Nigeria, I'm just never gonna know. Because in America, at least they have like laws and stuff.
Yeah.
So it made me really paranoid. And like I started to really watch out for people. I would give people like a second look
Yeah.
before talking to them, even as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was one of your most tragic experiences you ever had?
As a kid?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Of course, you can share.
Oh, because I don't know what level of trauma we're allowed to put on into the world of this show.
I feel there's no copyright as long as it's your personal story.
As long as my
You know?
personal story.
Yeah.
I would say the worst day for me in my entire childhood life was when my mom thought it would be a good idea to send me to boarding school. I was 11. Sucked. I came home like a year later. I didn't even last that 2 semesters later even. And the worst day for me was the day in boarding school where I had somebody who was supposed to be in charge of me, and I could just come from home where my clothes were being washed, my everything was being taken care of. So I had to like learn life skills, but I'm also 11, you know? So I remember I forgot or to like wash all my clothes or something because I was 11, I was a child, and I had so many clothes and I had never washed clothes before in my life. So, and I also had ADHD, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I had forgotten to do this big thing. And the girl who was in charge of me told me to take off all my clothes. She made me go into the shower. She made me get wet and then come back. And then she whipped me with a belt.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I was like, I don't know the level of trauma.
Wow.
Because 6 months later, I went home and I told my mom this and she couldn't believe it because I never told anybody. I just like swept it under the rug, you know? Because from my head, I'm like, it's Nigeria. That's normal. That's what happens. Until I started talking about it as an adult, like 15 years later, 10 years later, and people were like, babes, that's not normal. Like that is absolutely not normal. You need to be in like serious therapy because that is not normal. But as a kid, I thought it was fine. I thought it was normal. I thought you just go to school and people just abuse you. That's just Nigeria. So if you talk to a lot of Nigerians who went to boarding school, you will hear a lot of similar stories.
Yeah. But it hurts even more when you like directly from the shower, you know, with water on your body.
That was the
You know,
point.
that's like I think that's like criminal treatment.
Yeah, that's torture.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
I think like my brain, the chemicals, I would say I don't want to say the chemicals, but my brain switched after I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
Because when I came home, I became like a different person for a long time. I became a lot more insecure than I was when I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
I became a lot more scared, but like not scared in an environmental sense, but scared of people. Women terrified me for so long.
Yeah.
This year, I'm finally able to form good female friendships. I'm finally able to not be afraid of women when they just talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, it really affected my relationship with girls because every time I would try to talk to a girl, my brain would just go, don't do it.
Back there.
Not even like, maybe not specifically back there, but there was just a fear.
Yeah.
Like they're going to judge you. They're not going to think you're cool. They're going to think you're weird. They're going to think something is wrong with you, you know? And I had to like relearn that there is nothing wrong with me and people are different and I'm in a different place now and I can actually express myself how I want to be received.
So this is like kind of the same situation most rape victims actually express, right?
Yeah.
When they're like let's say the female rape victims, because men actually get raped. So they're usually like paranoid about men, right? They're kind of scared to approach men, and it takes them years to actually like unlock, right?
It depends
Yeah.
though, because that's the thing. Like I unfortunately grew up in an environment where a lot of the women around me got raped. It was normal. Like that's the thing. Nigeria is such a crazy place to think about. Like even as a concept, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you will literally get raped and nothing will happen. Someone will even ask you, why did you wear that skirt? Somebody's auntie, why did you dress like that if you knew that you didn't want it to happen to you? So I grew up with I grew up around a lot of women who like were sexually abused, and I've seen it go like different ways. I've seen it go like people become super religious and religion is their whole world and they have to like, they need religion, they need to hold on to it to like feel stability. I've seen people who just become like nymphomaniacs because for them it's like a way of like, every time they they are with someone, it's like a way of forgetting. It's kind of messed up. It's kind of like overcorrecting
Yeah.
in a situation that you shouldn't even correct in the first place. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Because it was never your fault.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think about what underlying diseases did that person have, and what underlying diseases, mental diseases, that person get from this.
Yeah.
So maybe before you were raped, you were fine. After, you're dealing with PTSD. You can react differently to that PTSD and react differently to that rape at the same time. You can have different things that come out of it, you know?
Well,
So we're so complex as human beings. There's so many little parts of it. And when you take away somebody's like right to their own body like that, you don't even know how it goes. You don't even know what little things are going to
especially
happen.
as a kid, right?
Especially as a kid.
Yeah.
Because everything that happens to you as a kid is literally responsible for a lot of the things that will happen to you as an adult.
Yeah. Especially in the ages from 0 to 7, I guess.
Exactly. It's very formative. So you can imagine, for me, it was all like tumultuous. I like to use that word a lot, but it was all like chaotic. You know, it was no constant electricity, not constant water. I had to carry water on my head and walk a lot of miles.
That's
no
Africa.
tarred road. I had to walk to school. Sometimes we would be hungry. That was like me 0 to 7.
Yeah.
So I feel like now as an adult, not a lot can faze me.
You know, that's the hard upbringing some of us Africans go through, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it actually kind of molds you and makes this person who's actually strong and able to overcome a lot of challenges, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me.
You know, I got one of my friend, he's called Lewis, and he's always like saying, man, I really want to date black women, but you know, they always have like this kind of energy, like, you know, like very strong and like very resistant to like, you know, because he's someone who actually loves black women. So he's a black Italian, you know, so he's always like, he wants to do it, but he's always like having this resistance. Like he always thinks the black woman is gonna attack him.
Well, then it's not for him. If you're afraid, don't go. It's not. In fact, he's already told himself the reasons why. Don't do it. It's not for you. We're not for you. We're fine.
Yeah.
But I also think that thing he says is really, I've heard it from a lot of guys where they say, oh, I don't want to approach this black woman because I feel like she's on the defense and blah, blah, blah. But you would be on the defense too if the whole world was constantly on your ass 24/7.
Yeah.
You would not be smiling all the time if people were being racist to you and misogynistic and fascist. Like, there's so many levels to it as a woman that I've had to change my face to not smile all the time.
Okay.
So like, why if you were the lower gender and you were the gender that's constantly getting all the shit, I don't think you would be happy all the time.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. So let's do this, right?
Okay.
Just look into the camera right now and maybe like give
I can't see it, but I hope you can see me.
Just give an advice to the young girls, you know, who are looking forward to becoming 27 one day and want to be like maybe Angel, you know, who want to be music artists too, you know, who want to DJ, who want to be like in the movies, you know, and you know, go through the things you've already gone through. What would you tell them right now?
I think I would say that, first of all, 27 is a very young age. So if you haven't done any of the things that you want to do by 27, first of all, don't beat yourself up. I think I need to start there, because it's very easy to go, oh, this person is doing this thing that I want to do, and this person is doing this thing, and they're this age. I compare myself a lot, so don't do that, first off. And live. I know it's a very weird thing to say, but just live. Like, take every opportunity and take every experience and go out every weekend and have fun, because you're going to regret not doing it. Like, don't listen to what anybody thinks your values should be, or your morals should be, or policing who they think you should be as a woman. And don't listen to influencers on the internet telling you how you should be. Don't listen to TikTok telling you how you should be. Your uniqueness is what is going to make you stand out and succeed. The moment you start to listen to what other people are telling you and listen to how other people think you should be, you are going to fall. So you need to be strong and confident in yourself, even if it's fake, girl. Ain't nobody care. Fake that confidence.
Yeah.
Be strong in yourself and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
It's so important to be kind to yourself. Like, I see so many girls nowadays who are just not kind to themselves, and I can't blame them. Look at the internet. Look at the online community we facilitated for young women, you know? Just be kind to yourself and take shit at your own pace. Take life at your own pace, because 27 is young. It is young. And if you're younger than that, you're so young. Oh my God. The whole world is ahead of you. That's my advice. Be kind to yourself, live life, and love yourself. Girl, if you want to start an OnlyFans, do it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't.
So you actually pro OnlyFans, are you?
What?
Are you pro OnlyFans?
I used to have one.
You used to?
Yeah.
What were you posting on it?
Stuff.
Your personal stuff?
Stuff.
Sellable stuff?
I don't have it
or-
no more, so don't check.
Oh, okay. But did you ever go public with it, or
I went public with it. I was
Yeah.
there for very publicly for 2 months. I made a lot of money, and I was
only
like, oh,
2
this is
months?
easy.
Okay, okay. I was thinking you're probably on it for like a year or something.
I was
Because-
2 months, and I was top 0 point something % creators in the world.
Okay,
2 months.
yeah.
That's
You
like,
actually need to know what you're doing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a full-time job. It's not like, I know people just think you just post a cute pic of your ass and money.
Yeah.
Girl, no.
Yeah.
You have to do your own marketing.
Mm.
You have to do your own sales.
Mhm.
You have to do your own visuals. You're
Yeah.
your own company.
Yeah.
You're a one-woman company. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of people, oh, it's just porn. Yeah, porn is actually easier, because in porn you have a production team.
Yeah.
You have a director. You have, there's people who are actually there to. It's like a movie.
Yeah,
You just show
exactly.
up and you're the actor.
Yeah.
In OnlyFans, you're not just
You're
the actor.
everything.
You're also your own accountant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do everything. So I need to give it to those OnlyFans girls. The skills that they learn
Yeah.
from just doing that, those are life skills.
Yeah.
And if you're just hating on them, then you're working 9 hours and hating on people who own their own
Mm.
businesses, essentially. So
Mhm.
do it. But if it's not for you, don't do it.
Yeah. So what would you say about the morals of OnlyFans?
I don't know if I have anything to say about the morals. I don't think I have anything to say about the morals of anything.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm not a Christian.
Okay.
So I think I look at things a bit differently
Oh,
than maybe other Africans might when it comes to OnlyFans. I don't know.
yeah.
But
That's even what we're supposed to talk about next. If you're a spiritual person, so you're not a Christian.
I'm spiritual, but I'm not a Christian. I believe in God,
Yeah.
but I'm not a Christian.
And when did that switch actually come?
I don't know. Maybe it's always been there,
Oh.
because all the time I was forced to go to church. Man, it did not work. It did not gel. Because I grew up in the church. I used to pray the rosary
Yeah.
from house to house to
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
I went to a Catholic university. My
Mhm.
teachers were Reverend Fathers.
Yeah.
I went to church almost every Sunday growing up,
Mm.
and it's still, why didn't it work? There's the question. To
Were
be
you
asked.
being forced to go to church?
No, I like the outfits
Is that the only reason why you went to church?
and the music.
Okay.
If I'm very honest with you, it was the outfit and the music
Yeah.
and having somewhere to go.
On Sundays.
Yes. Church itself felt like there was a lot of stuff I saw people do in church that even as a kid, I was like, I don't want to be in this environment.
Mm.
This environment is very like, I'm better than you because I love Jesus more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was just that he was a person, he was a prophet. Yes, he existed,
Yeah.
but there is an exaggerated version of everything today, because over time we've had to exaggerate religion because a lot of people benefit from it, like the governments in the states, and it trickles down to the tiny person.
Yeah.
Now you're I don't even know. You're going
Yeah.
to church every Sunday for
Yeah.
something that you're not sure if it's real or not.
Mhm.
But every time something good happens in your life, you forget to give yourself credit for the work you did.
Yeah.
So then it just all becomes blurred. So it's just hard for me to be a Christian, because I don't appreciate a lot of values that Christianity shares with people and forces them to have.
Hmm. So that's where the switch came.
Yep. I also
see.
dated somebody who was like a cult leader.
Okay.
That'll do it.
That was enough motivation not to be a Christian.
That'll do it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about the occult,
Okay.
about spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
about ancient paganism. Not, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say ancient, but old pagan religions. And I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I learned about that made it hard for me to be a Christian.
Hmm. So this was like your daily life
It
at
was
the
for
end
a
of the day.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it for someone who doesn't know what this is actually? How would you like maybe give us like a superficial intro into it? Dating someone who was in a court or something.
Well, he wasn't really in a cult. He was kind of like a cult leader,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
He acted definitely like it. But it was as simple as, let's go and look at some tarot cards. You know,
Mm-hmm.
tarot cards?
Yeah.
The ones where, yeah, it's as simple as that. Now you're in the store looking at tarot cards. You're like, oh, hey, there's this book about Celtic magic.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this book about, Hermetic magic. Oh, there's this book about magic in general. I'm going to see what that's about. You read that, they say something in it. You're like, oh, I want to go find out what that is. Or they reference a teacher or they reference a person. So now you're like, okay, maybe this book talked about, an example is Helena Blavatsky, because I kind of got into her a bit. I don't know if she's huge in the spiritual occult world.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
niche. And
Yeah.
don't follow me for saying that if you are one of those people, because I'm not into it anymore.
Yeah.
But for example, then you would be like, okay, I'm going to go look at her teachings. Then you go in there and she's teaching about seances. She's teaching about communicating with spirits. She's teaching about, occult concepts that are pretty much now veering into like paganism and magic and Wicca.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, I'm going to see what that's about. And before you know it, you're in a rabbit hole. It's so simple.
Hmm. Well, because I always see most of the times it's usually on documentaries that I see like people in a cult and they're in a relationship with like a cult leader and all of that. And I've never understood what is actually happening. Do these people like actually get forced or maybe like and you breaking it down like this, just like starting to read a book, starting to go to these places, and you're just like being immersed like slowly and it becomes
Curiosity is very important to join a cult. If you're not curious, you can't really join a cult, can you?
yeah.
Like, that's why a lot of smart people are in cults. It's not, cults don't want dumb people. I always tell people, like, if you sit at home all day doing nothing without an original thought in your head, a cult doesn't really want you.
Okay.
No offense, because how are they supposed to manipulate you if there's nothing there to manipulate?
Yeah.
There's so many parts of it, like brainwashing, telling you the things that you can and cannot believe in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find that your whole life is like, that's what happened to me in this relationship, to be very honest. And like, I feel like now I'm realizing it's a cult of two, because I thought like I didn't know anything and this person could teach me everything. And everything that this person was teaching me was this amazing, like knowledge that nobody else knew about. It was like secret knowledge just for me, just for us,
Yeah.
and we were doing this thing that, makes us special from other people and other people don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
Wow. And you think there's like a particular age where people cannot get into a cult anymore? Where they
No.
can be like not brainwashed anymore?
No, I don't know. I was listening to a cult episode this morning, which is so funny
Yeah.
because one of my favorite podcasts is called "Was I in a Cult?" And it's because some people are like, "Was I in a cult?
Yeah.
I was just in a marketing office," and then you find out that that was actually a cult. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways that they can like push out a group of people, and you don't even know it's a cult. They just come to you normally. Like this woman, she joined a cult in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Why? She was getting paranoid about the lockdowns. She was a very freedom person. So she joined a bunch of people called QAnon on the internet who were telling her that lizard people were real.
Wow.
And she used to be a Christian. She was in a Christian cult. So you never know.
This is
In
insane.
fact, when you're smart, you should watch out.
This is insane. So it's like they just like turn off a part of your brain and you
They prey on your fears and they prey on your worries.
Yeah.
And every human being has fears and worries. And if they're able to tell you, hey, we can like actually help you with your fears and we can help you with your worries and we can provide you a solution even though there's none. Like Christian cults, where it's like the world is going to end. So if you just stop sinning, if you sell all your things, if you just come live in the church, if you're dedicated, if you pray a lot, then, that fear that we all have about the end of the world, everyone has some sort of fear on that level, right? But when you're a Christian, it's real, because then it's like revelations and this and that. So when someone has told you this huge fear that you have, we can predict it, we can tell you when it's going to happen, and we can tell you how to solve it. Of course, a lot of dumb, I don't say dumb people, but a lot of people are going to join, because they're telling you there's a solution to your existential fear.
Yeah. Wow.
I know it's deep.
It's deep. It's deeper than I thought, guys. I feel like we should do a whole episode
On cults?
on cults and cultism and things
That
like
would be so fun. I would have a lot to say.
we do a part 2, guys. If you wanna listen to us speak more about occultism, let us know in the comments, right?
Yeah.
Should Angel come and speak more about occultism?
And talk about my cult of 2, because I'm gone.
Probably, right? Let us know in the comments. Okay, let's proceed to the next part, which is what do you do in your spare time when you're not working?
Film.
Hobbies and things. Film. Okay.
My hobby is film. I'm just being. I'm not a let's go out and climb a rock kind of person.
Yeah.
I don't like to hike.
Okay.
I don't like physical strenuous tasks. I like to watch films anywhere.
Yeah. Is it only films, or is more like documentaries and other things as well?
I would say anything under the cinema umbrella.
Okay.
I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not part of those who are going hiking, going to break their knees on the ski slope.
No, that's how I listen to true crime. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
You go, you don't come back. I don't like to hike.
I see. It's cool though. So we almost at the end, right? And we have the game right now.
Okay.
As I told you earlier, we have the game called Get to Know Me Uncomfortably Well, right? Where it is what it is,
You will be uncomfortable.
Guys, take notes right now. Take notes, right? Because we have 10 questions, right? And you have 30 seconds to answer each question.
Hallelujah.
Right.
Let's go. It's like a speed round.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very short questions. So you ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, name 3 of your favorite dishes.
Jollof rice, Chinese food. I don't know what's in Chinese food, and plantains.
Okay, plantains. That's the African signature, guys. So number 2, name 3 of your favorite music artists.
Right now, I would say Shabuzi, Chappell Rowan, and I'm sorry, I know it's very white, Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay. Number 3, if you have the opportunity to collaborate with 3 music artists, who would it be?
Bruno Mars, Rihanna, Megan Thee Stallion.
Fire. All right. Number 4, name 3 of your favorite songs.
Lady Gaga, Bad Romance. This is a hard one. Right now, I would say Good Luck Babe by Chappell Rowan, and All American Reject, Gives You Hell.
Okay.
For a specific one.
Awesome. Number 5, name 3 of your favorite movies.
Oh God, The Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
And The Substance. Even though I just saw it, shut up to number 1.
What is The Substance? What is it about?
Oh, so it's this movie about this woman who gets fired from her TV show because she's too old.
Okay.
And then she gets this thing called The Substance that allows her to have a younger version of herself while she's asleep. And the younger version crawled out of her spine.
Yeah.
And she has to live every week and switch between the young version of herself and the old version of herself. And it goes really wrong.
I can imagine. So next one, name 3 of your favorite books.
The Art of Loving by Eric Fromm, The Necronomicon by H.P. Lovecraft, and Americana or Purple Hibiscus, either one of those 2 by Chimamanda Adichie.
Chimamanda.
Yep.
And you talked about the book about the lady too last time.
Chimamanda, yeah. She's
Chimamanda
amazing.
Adichie.
She's Nigeria's literary hero.
I see. Cool. All right, next question. Name 3 of your favorite places you haven't traveled to yet.
Amsterdam,
Mm.
S- Portugal,
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
and Los Angeles.
Okay. These are three places you haven't traveled to yet.
No.
Mm. Would you love to do it anytime soon?
Yes, especially Los Angeles.
Awesome. All right. Next question. Do you sleep on your back, your belly, or on your sides?
My back. Only on my back.
Only on your back?
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Yeah, I have a chronic semi-permanent chest condition. It's
Mm.
called costochondritis.
Okay.
So it's my muscles on my left side, and I have to sleep on my back with my feet elevated. If not, it's like it feels very strenuous, and it feels like there's pressure in my chest.
So you can breathe well, probably. or something?
I can breathe well.
Yeah.
I mean, but I just can't. It feels like I'm having a heart attack.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see. Sorry about that.
it's okay.
All right.
We prevailed.
Next one is on a rest day, right? Do you prefer to stay indoors and relax, or go out and have fun?
A rest day
Yeah, on a rest day.
from the gym, I'm assuming, or just like a rest day.
Maybe a rest day could be going to the gym. I don't know.
I think it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Like if I've it depends really.
Yeah.
I like to go out and I like to stay in. So 50-50.
Okay, depends. All right.
Yeah.
So next one is what is one thing you hate most?
Oh wow, I hate a lot of things. So it's gonna be a what is one thing I hate the most? It's a hard question when you hate a lot of things. I would say I hate like people who don't have the guts to say things to your face that they will text you.
Mm, yeah.
Maybe that's something I can say I don't like because like come say it to my face.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm that kind of person. I don't like people who can't back up their words in person.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool. All right. Next one. What is one thing you love most?
Oh, that's a good one. Musicals.
Musicals.
I love a good musical.
Alrighty. Okay. Name three best dating tips a potential candidate needs in order to get you laid.
Look sexy. It's sex sells. That's just super simple on its own.
Yeah.
Be honest and don't be uptight.
Hmm.
That'll get you
Relax.
laid.
Alrighty. If you have to go with one style, right? What would it be? A. African and traditional clothing. B. Urban and streetwear. C. Elegant and classy. Or D. Half naked designer clothing.
Half naked designer clothing, baby.
I knew that was the answer.
I
knew
will
that was
wrap
the
a
answer.
scarf around me.
I knew that was the answer. I was just looking at your social media profile and I
You
was
were
just like, okay, I got to add this last option.
She
Gotta
feels like she doesn't wear clothes a lot.
I knew I had to add option D.
Yeah, that's. I was waiting for it. I was
Yeah.
like, no.
I knew it. You know what's funny? On the last episode with Enye, for you guys who haven't watched it, with Enye is actually I had to put the African traditional clothing
Yeah.
because she prefers that option.
Yeah, that's
from-
true.
Yeah,
That's very much her style.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'm just there catching a cold every time. It's cold.
All right. Last question is you have three cards right now, right?
No.
Right here. What you have to do is the cards have the names of music artists. So you have to pick one and you name three songs by this music artist.
Okay.
Okay?
This
Pick
should
one.
be hard/easy. I'll just pick the one in the middle.
All right. The one in the middle, guys.
Please don't stop the
Show it to the
music.
camera. Show it to the camera.
Rihanna? This
Yeah.
is easy. Please don't
Rihanna.
stop the music. SOS, Love on the Brain, Sex with Me, Needed Me,
Wow,
Bitch
wow,
Better
wow.
Have My Money.
All right. She
You-
knows a lot of, she knows all the titles about
I
Rihanna.
know
It's
the
one
entire,
of my
like,
favorites.
The entire Rihanna's anti-album,
Yeah.
I know it by heart. So
Cool.
that was a good one. Should I do another one for fun?
Nah, that's enough.
Okay.
All right, guys. We are at the end of the show right now. So at the end, I always like to just give the guests like maybe 1 or 2 minutes to actually express anything they have in their mind. If there's anything you want to talk about, you can say it right now.
Yeah, I think my closing words would then be the world is a very scary place right now. And I know that it is terrifying to wake up every day and see what's happening in Palestine, to hear about what's happening in America, to hear about what's happening with the climate, to hear about I can understand the sentiment that if you're a young person right now, it feels like the world is ending before you've got a chance to have your own start. And with the inflation and the economy and not being able to afford as much as we thought that we probably could when we were kids, I think it's so important right now that we just focus on doing the things that make us happy, no matter how stupid and crazy and weird it sounds. I heard about a man yesterday who tied a helium balloon to a lawnmower chair, and he fulfilled his dreams of flying across the city in a lawnmower chair and
Wow.
some weather balloons.
Wow.
That can be you, you know? No matter how crazy your dream is, no matter how wild your dream is, no matter how insane it feels like that the world is around you, you are always sane, and you are a unique person, and you are a breathing, living, conscious being with thoughts and feelings. And whatever you do, whatever you start, will become something. So don't let the way the world is going right now get you down. You got this. You got this.
Awesome.
And mind your own business.
Mind your business. All right. Thank you so much, Angel.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
So, guys, that was Angel Tolani.
Stream my music, bitches.
Stream her music, guys. Support her, all right? She's on all the platforms, like we said earlier. We're going to put her links in the description, okay? It's been the Chi Chat Show. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? So if you have a story, if you actually want to share your story, we always welcome to receive you. Text us, DM us on Instagram, wherever it might be. We're going to reach out, okay? Thank you so much.